Ramadan and the important ahkam of Ramadan, and then I'm going to have a Q&A. That means I'm going to ask you. Is that okay? I'm going to do the questions. You do the answers. And if the answers are right, we'll give you stamp of approval. If the answer is not right, I'm going to give you the right answer. You like that?
Yes.
Or you just want me to speak and you listen and then you ask me questions? Which one you like?
Either way you want, sir.
Whatever I want? Man, I wish that it was like that from the beginning. All right, inshallah. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala wa ba'd. Always whenever we start with the ahkam of Ramadan, what is the first thing that comes to your head? Whenever we say rules of Ramadan, what's the first thing that comes in your head? Honestly speaking. Huh? What breaks the fast? Yes. What else? Fasting. Just fasting. What else? Reading Quran. MashaAllah, 2 now for Quran. What else? How can I maintain my fasting? Nobody think about Hilal anymore? That's the first thing, right? Nobody think about Hilal. But that's good. Let me ask you another follow-up question. Why do you think this is the first thing that you thought about? Like, who said Quran? Like, why? Why is that? And who said fasting only? And who said that, how can I maintain my fasting? And what breaks the fasting? Why this is important for you? Month of Quran. Because Allah said about Ramadan is the month of Quran. So those who said that I want the things that break fasting, that's the first thing that comes in your head, right? You said that, right? Do you know the things that break the fasting? I'm not putting anybody in the spot, it's just conversation, right? So do you know the things that break the fasting? So why they come to your head first? Even though you know them. So you are afraid that one of them will happen. So you are very conscious about that. Right? When fasting only comes in your head, the first thing that comes in your head, just fasting. So do you fast any other days other than Ramadan? You do. So what makes fasting Ramadan special? So there is a special season. There is some special season. Very good. Why I'm saying this? Because there is a reason that this thought came to your head first. There is something. Like when somebody said, what is the first thing that comes when your dad is mentioned? Man, I'm scared. Somebody said. Why? Because there is something that makes them scared. Oh, he's my hero. You know? So why? Because they have an experience with the dad. When I say Arabic linguistics, man, tough. Why? Their experience or their assumption make it tough. You know what I'm saying? Now, Allah Azza wa Jal wants to fix that kind of thought for us in the Quran. So Allah Azza wa Jal speaks about Siyam in a certain way. Speaks about the month of Ramadan as the month of Quran. So Allah wants those things to come to your head first. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. This is the summary. This is what should come to your head whenever the word Siyam comes. Allah ordained this fasting on you like He ordained it on the nations before you, so you may attain the stage of taqwa. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. So am I included or not? So that need to come to my head. The Siyam is for mu'mineen. I'm a mu'min then. I should be. Right? Kutiba alaykum is fard. So it should come to my head that Ramadan is what? Fard. كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. This is the Sharia in all the nations before. So I am part of other Sharia from all time. Everybody fasting, by the way. So if somebody come and tell you, oh, this fasting Ramadan is Muslim tradition. No. Muslim tradition means from Adam down, yes. And that's one way that Allah Azza wa Jal made for humans who believe in Him to get closer by abstaining from halal. So you control yourself for Allah's sake. So that itself raises your stage. Raises what? Your level with Allah Azza wa Jal. Why? Because this is halal for me, but I'm not going to touch it. What make you not touch it even though you're allowed to touch it, even though it's halal to touch it? Because Allah told you, I want you to do that. He said, yes, Allah, I will do that. So fasting is there. What is the point of that? لَعَلَّكُمْ. What is that? What is that taqwa? Because we have to understand taqwa and we have to understand the relationship of taqwa and fasting. Maybe nobody explained it like that before, but I will show you how simple the understanding is. So Allah said the reason or the fruit that you attain from fasting is what? Is what? Taqwa. What is that taqwa? If you don't know what is that fruit, then how are you going to be eager to have it? So you go buy orange, you go buy apples. You are expecting what you're going to get. That's why you decided to go buy apples. You know, I tell you, there is a fruit that it is called durian. You know durian? Malaysian brothers? Yeah? Durian. He said, what is that durian? Man, that's so good fruit, but it stinks. I set expectations for you. You might buy what curious, but already I set the expectation. But if you eat it, next time you are going to buy durian, you know exactly what you buy. Okay? So you know what is it. Oh, your wife write you the list. Go get these groceries for me, honey, please. So chicken, I know what is that. Milk, okay, I know what is that. You know, so when Allah Azza wa Jal tells you, you're going to gain that fruit. If you are not aware of it, how will you become eager? How will you become actually interested? You only become interested in the things that you know. Am I right? So if you don't know what's taqwa, like, may Allah make us among muttaqeen. I ask you, Akhi, what is that? Like, what is that? It's a good stuff. Good stuff. Somebody, Sheikh, your khutbah is wonderful. I said, summarize one sentence. Wallahi, Sheikh, you make my heart like, I said, what exactly made your heart like that? I don't remember. So, when Allah said, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so you can get taqwa. So you finish Ramadan without getting taqwa? Yes, I finish Ramadan without, because I don't know what is that. So what is taqwa?
Fear of Allah.
This is taqwa? Is fear of Allah? Or what?
The way He should be feared.
Okay. اتقوا الله حق تقاته. Fear Allah the way He should be feared. But what kind of fear is that? Because fear, you are afraid of darkness, you turn the light on. You are afraid of lion, you run away from him. You are afraid of Allah though. So,
Restrain yourself from
the things that makes Allah
unhappy.
So taqwa is the concern, is the conscious concern that you and me have to stay away from what Allah doesn't like and stay with what Allah likes. Is that simple understanding of taqwa? Taqwa is not doing it. No, taqwa is consciously doing it. Is that clear? Because you tell your child, don't do this, this is haram. Do this, it's halal. They do it. But that's not taqwa though. That's ta'ah. Ta'ah means what? Obedience. You and me are obeying Allah. You come for salah, you pray on time, that's obedience. Yes? You do not eat in Ramadan, that's obedience. So you obey and avoid the wrong. But that's obedience. You do the right and avoid the wrong. But what is taqwa? Being eager to do that. Looking forward to do that. Asking all the time what pleases Allah to do it. What displeases Allah to. That is the state of taqwa. Now you understand? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ? Now, Now you can understand the relationship of fasting and taqwa, salah and taqwa, hajj and taqwa. How does fasting help you to achieve taqwa? Now you understand what taqwa is, right? How does fasting do that for you? Self-control, right? Basically, you could abstain from drinking that water, and you actually want to start the day to do it. I wanted to enjoy this fasting for Allah's sake, and at Maghrib time, I'm happy that I fulfilled that. So now I achieved taqwa through what? Fasting. It made me able to look forward to what pleases Allah to do. Fasting did that. How salah give you the taqwa? I made the wudu, I took my car, I came to the masjid, I prayed on time, you know. That taught me to be eager to go for what Allah wants. Huh? Somebody is doing something haram in front of you, said, A'udhu Billah, and you move forward. How does that make you among the muttaqeen? That you are ready on the spot instantly to move away from it. Why? For the sake of Allah. That is now the state of taqwa, not obedience. Obedience is the mechanical part of it. Mechanic, like routine. You are obeying. This is, what should I do in Ramadan, Sheikh? 1, 2, 3, 4. What I shouldn't do? 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. هذا طاعة. Now you are obedient person. You're rewarded for it, by the way. It's a good stuff, a good thing. That's what we train our children to do. You need to pray. Yes. Yes, Dad. Don't look around in the prayer. Yes, Dad. Obeying. But when they realize, when they have the choice, when they have the freedom, yet they are doing it, what makes them do it? You as an adult now, why you don't look around in the salah? Nobody's going to do anything to you. You're not afraid. Even when you are alone by yourself, you don't look around you. When you are alone. You are alone in the salah, in your room, and you say, Allahu Akbar. You don't look like that. Why you don't do it? You are not a child anymore. Hadi taqwa. What is that called? Is what? Taqwa. So taqwa is being concerned, making conscious effort. What pleases Allah I need to do, what displeases Allah. I hope we understand taqwa now. I can't emphasize enough on that. So this is the simplest way. There are deeper and deeper and deeper definitions and all that, but that is the simplest way, consciously obeying what Allah tells us and avoiding what Allah prohibited us. هذا التقوى. Consciously. Huh? Yes, but taqwa comes from the heart, yeah? Because Rasulullah ﷺ said, At-taqwa ha-huna. At-taqwa ha-huna. Taqwa is over here. Means taqwa is where? In the heart. Your amal is the manifestation of obedience. But there is no manifestation of taqwa. You cannot manifest taqwa. Taqwa is what a munafiq can be doing the same thing that a mu'min doing. Yani a hypocrite can actually be doing better. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said about the Khawarij, one of you will belittle their salah compared to their salah. Your Quran compared to their Quran, but they go to hellfire. Kalabu Jahannam. So in the outside picture, you cannot say muttaqeen, not muttaqeen. You can't. You can't. Obedience and obedience, yeah? But you cannot say which one is accepted. Okay? So taqwa. Inna akramakum inda Allahi atqakum. Akramakum inda Allah. Only Allah decide who is the most pious. Imagine if I, Mamdouh have the ability to decide who among you is more muttaqeen than others. Absolutely, it will affect the way I deal with you. Absolutely. If you have goggles that you come to Jum'ah and it's like, infrared. Muttaqeen, not muttaqeen. So you're going to say, brother, make dua for me. And people lining up in front of this muttaqeen. So, rahmah of Allah, Allah hides. Allah is the one who knows how much taqwa you have, how much taqwa I have. For Ramadan helps us to do the taqwa. Faddal.
Someone doesn't know the meaning of taqwa. Is he still guided to get a taqwa?
Taban. Right. The question is, if somebody does not know the meaning of taqwa, is he guided to get the taqwa? Yes. Allah guides subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like this. I learn in college how to do certain things. Then I go come and apply it. But someone is just doing it. And then you come and tell him, by the way, you are doing exactly what I studied in college. But you didn't know. So it is the dunya teaches, the life teaches. Same thing. Allah Azza wa Jal guides. يهدي قلبه. ومن يؤمن بالله يهدي يهدي قلبه. Whoever believes in Allah, Allah guides his heart. Allah guides his heart to taqwa, ihsan, all of that, without even knowing what is taqwa and ihsan. But we are saying make conscious effort to understand what you're doing. Because maybe I'm not among the ones that Allah guide the heart like this. So I pray, Allah, I know what taqwa is, please give it to me. So, right. Now, how do we know that Ramadan enters? Through ru'ya of the hilal, not through calculations. It's not announced, it's not announced, ماشي, it's all right. If you want to follow them, alhamdulillah, but we are a jama'ah, we are here in this masjid, we are in the Islamic Society of Greater Houston, we decided that we are going to follow the moon sighting, and when our scholars tell us that the moon have been sighted, and we follow them. End of story. We are not going to enter this debate. خلاص? We are not going to enter this debate. We have Fatwa Council of IGH. Fatwa Council tell us, sumu tomorrow, fast tomorrow. Alhamdulillah, we fast tomorrow. You know, don't fast tomorrow, we don't fast tomorrow. I hope it solves all this debate and all this problem. It is much better to look at your leadership, at your religious leadership, and follow hadith, the safest way out of this debate. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. طيب. Then, after that, what about the person who did not know the entrance of Ramadan? Let's say you went to sleep after Isha and the announcement was not made. It's not a good thing, but you woke up after Fajr. It's not a good thing, but I'm just assuming, yani. You woke up after Fajr. And then you woke up, you took a sip of water, and then you found out that, they make announcement, today is Ramadan. Make niyyah then. Make niyyah then. And you don't have to make qada for that day. You don't have to do qada for that day. Why? Because knowledge of the entrance of Ramadan is a condition. If somebody does not know the entrance of Ramadan, you cannot tell them to give, expiate for something that they didn't know. Even if it's a Zuhr time. Right? Now, in the other way, if the azan, for example, the muazzin in the masjid of Salat al-Fajr, he made azan late. Okay? And we keep eating, waiting for the azan. And the muazzin went to sleep or something like that. And we are, mashallah, eating in the community room, eating and all that. And the azan is not made. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then azan is made. Then we said, azan is made 10 minutes later. Then you make qada for that day. Yes, you stop eating and drinking, but you make qada in that day. The mistake here was the entrance of time. Time entered, but the azan was not made. You should have made sure that you check. Don't just wait for it. It happened at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Asma bint Abi Bakr said in the hadith that one day it was cloudy. It started being cloudy after Asr. So people estimated that it's Maghrib time, so they ate. And after they ate, they found the sun coming out. The cloud moved. So they make qada for that day. Prophet tell them to make qada for that day, even though it was like few minutes left for Maghrib. Make qada for that day. So the mistake during the day of starting or break the fasting early, or starting the fasting late, you make qada of that day. All right? But if you did not know the entrance of Ramadan, that's another story, right? The entrance of Ramadan, you stop. If a person become Muslim at Zuhr time, in one day of Ramadan, 15th of Ramadan, and a brother or a sister came and they said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Zuhr time. That day, they finish the fasting, they don't make it up again. They start fasting from when? Even there is 1 minute left for Maghrib. Why? Because before that minute, they were not Muslim. So Ramadan is not a must on them. Fasting Ramadan becomes a must once a person becomes what? Muslim. What if a child reached puberty at Asr time? The girl reached puberty, or the son, the boy reached puberty at Asr time. So that means we tell them, stop eating and drinking now, because now it counts. Everything before that was like for training purpose, right? But now Ramadan is a must on you from this moment on. So you finish this day and you don't make up for that day. واضح يا اخوانا? Is that clear? Same thing, a person was in the coma or majnoon, insane, or anything like that. طيب. Tell me more. During the day. Okay. So if you are traveling, this is a very good question, by the way. Traveling has lots of ahkam for fasting. If you started the fasting and during the day in Ramadan, Zuhr time, let's say, you went to the airport or you drove the car and went out. Your eligibility to break that fast because of traveling happens from the minute you are in the outskirts of that town, not arriving. Whatever considered Houston, you're out of it now. That's why they said the airport is considered outside of Houston, even though it is in Houston. Like once you check in, once you are on the gate, you pray qasr. Yani in the gate. When you're traveling on the gate here, there is a chapel or a musalla, you can pray qasr in there. Because now you have a boarding pass, you have everything, you're not going to change your mind and go have coffee at home. Yani, I'm already on my path. And that's what Sahaba did. Once they reached the outskirts of Medina, even though Medina is still a few minutes, if they walk back, few minutes they'll be in Medina, right? But now when they are out, they break the fast. So when you are traveling, you have the choice. Either continue fasting, and Allah rewards you, or break the fasting and then you make qada after Ramadan. Now where is the issue? The issue if you are traveling and the day gets shorter or longer. So where is the destination? Not the main point. So you go where you are arriving at Maghrib. Where you are arriving at Maghrib. So what if Maghrib comes at you in the aeroplane? On the spot you are in. That's when you break the fasting. Whether it is 5 minutes after launching or less or more. So the minute Maghrib comes, you break the fasting. Even if Asr comes after, yani even if you are going against, that day is done for you. Okay? When you reach in your destination, now you have to make up a new one. Right? You have a new one. So it's always going by whenever you arrive in the destination. What difference does it make in the days of Ramadan? So if I am here and I traveled somewhere and the 29th of Ramadan for them is like the 30th somewhere else. You know what I'm talking about? So now you're going to fast with them, not according to the days that you fast. Even it's an extra day for you. You do not make Eid except the people you arrived at. Even you fast 31 days. Even if you fast 31 days, you still fast. It's a must on you to fast 31 days. Okay? But if you fast less, right? So Ramadan like in 29 days only, and then they see the moon. But here they are in day number 28 still. You make Eid with them, but make qada for the day that you missed. So you also break the fast with them. You do not fast in their day of Eid. So it goes both ways. If they go extra, it's a must on you to break the fast with them, even though you fast extra day. If they break one day early, it's a must on you to break one day early, but it's a must on you to make up the number, 29 or 30 days. Is that clear for the traveling? Yeah. Any question, anytime, please ask. Yani, this is a more of an interactive. طيب, now, نعم. صحيح. That's now very good question. So you know, Brother Ahmed is a pilot, so he knows. يعني. So you're going, so the sun, right? It's not coming. Maghrib is not coming. There is no end to it. So you have two choices. I know. So you're going to consider yourself as if you are in one of those cities that have the 20-hour day. So you have two options here. One option is that you are going to break the fast with the most adjusted city, like, whether it is this way or that way, how many hours, and you go by that and you break the fasting, which I don't prefer in this case, but I prefer that if you are able to continue fasting until you reach, even if it is 3-4 hours extra, you should finish the fasting according to where the first Maghrib is going to come. First Maghrib. Even if it takes 2-3 more hours. That's your option. Or you have the rukhsa of what? Break the fasting of that day and then make it up when you arrive. Which I prefer the second one. يعني. To avoid this confusion, eat وخلاص. يعني when you are traveling, just break the fast. So you don't have that confusion. But those who are smart, they travel somewhere which is shorter. Shorter. So they break the fast earlier. But if you're coming from the Middle East, coming here, that's what happens. If you're coming toward the west, from the Middle East, يعني, the flight, takes off Maghrib time from Istanbul and arrives here Asr time. But you already flew like a lot. Like a lot. But it's still daytime. Yeah. If you can continue, if you arrive in Houston like that, then you have to wait until Maghrib. The minute you arrive, then you don't have an option to break the fast. You break the fast where the airplane. واضح? Because this is the issue. Now, once you reach to the Houston airport and you exit, now you don't have that option to I was traveling. No, you were traveling. Now you are not traveling. So you have the chance when you are flying. That's why a funny joke one time, a person comes to somebody like muazzin in the masjid, like he's not like alim, right? And he tell him, Ya Sheikh, wallahi, subhanallah, I feel very hard, to fast Ramadan. All my life I was not practicing jahiliyyah, and I'm doing all these things. Now Ramadan is very hard for me, and it's summertime. He told him, every day go to the train station and take the train for 2 hours out of the city. Break the fast and then come back. And he told him, really? He said, yeah. Because if you're traveling, you have rukhsa, so every day. But he forgot that he has to make up all these days. Still, if you break the fast for 30 days, you want to fast 30 days. Sometimes العلم is رحمة from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. طيب. Can we fast Ramadan with one niyyah, or we have to make niyyah every night? There are two opinions about that. Niyyah. That you have to make niyyah. Now you're thinking that niyyah is something you say. No, the niyyah is in the heart. Yani. And all of us, of course, why do you wake up for suhoor? Yani? That's a niyyah in itself, right? You wake up for the suhoor, you wake up for the tahajjud. You wake up because you, in your head, tomorrow is a fasting day. That's called the niyyah. Right? But we're assuming that somebody does not have that. Still, it's okay, but at least the beginning of Ramadan, when the moon is sighted, and we say tomorrow is Ramadan, make niyyah in your heart that you are going to observe the fasting of this month for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from sunrise to sunset. Is that clear? At least, have that couple of seconds to ponder. That's Ramadan and all of that. Ya Allah, make it easy for me. Allah accept it from me. Like that. Right? So this is in the niyyah.
Sheikh, due to the health condition, somebody have to break fast
Sahih.
Asr time.
Still, the day doesn't count. Even if it is 1 minute before Maghrib. They had to break the fast for health conditions. Allah Azza wa Jal give them shifa. But they have to make up that day if they are sick in a way that they will heal. They have a flu, they have COVID, or they have something. But if they are terminally sick, Allah give them the rukhsa not to make up for those days, and they feed one miskin for every day that they break the fasting. And we advise that please, 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 if you are a person who have diabetes or have that, don't try on your own. Don't say, I'm going to try, and if I get tired, because you can get a coma, you can get a problem. Ask your professional medical provider that can I observe the fasting or not, and ask someone who's trustworthy, who's a Muslim, who understands the importance of Ramadan. Is that clear, everybody? If you have your father or your mother or someone, please, please, please don't let them try, because I know specific cases. They said, I'm going to start Ramadan anyways, and if I feel sick, I will break the fasting, and before you know it, the ambulance is there to take them. We have Dr. Ali here, so he knows what I'm talking about. So don't risk it. Don't play. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you actually the rukhsa. Allah give you the rukhsa. So do not push yourself to that limit. That's why some of the scholars said breaking the fast while you are traveling is more rewarded than fasting. Some of the scholars actually said that. But the moderate opinion is, if you are able, if you listen to this, if you are able to and strong to observe fasting while you are traveling, then fasting is better for you. If you feel that you're going to be weak, even psychologically, it's going to affect you, it's going to have anxiety, and you're going to have a problem, break fasting is better for you. So you have to see what you physically and psychologically able to do while you are traveling. Same thing when you are sick. You have to take care of yourself. وَإِنَّ لِبَدَنِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقٌّ.
Define the fidya.
Fidya is to ففدية إطعام مسكين. يعني feeding a miskin. How are you feeding a miskin? Because إطعام is needed. You do not go give him $10 and say go buy a meal. What if he does not buy a meal? You did not fulfill the fidya. Right? So you want to make sure paying at the end is with conditions. You are paying someone who will pay food, who will buy food for them. That's okay. Wakil يعني. But they said it's either you cook food and you give it to them, or you give them the food raw. You buy it for them and you give them rice, you give them chicken, you give them something, put in a baggage and give it to them. Now if they eat it or not, you fulfilled your fidya already. Right? They eat it or they sell it, or it's not your business. You give food and that food will be eaten. Now they choose or not, it's not on you. But you give them money, now you're giving more options. All right? To use the money in other than eating. You understand me? So this food will be eaten by someone. Okay? So feeding it. Now it went to the wrong person, but you did your best. But if you give money, that money can be for other than feeding. Okay? So that's why we only give money to an organization, to someone who will buy food and deliver it. So that's what fidya is. Fidya, the word fidya means expiation. You are doing something because you did something else. I could not fast. I broke the fasting, but I should fast, but I'm not able to fast. Then I cannot fast. So what should I do? Another deed, which is feeding someone who is poor. That's what's called what? Fidya. طيب, Niyyah only in Ramadan or fard? Fard means qada is also fard. Like if a sister or a sick person or a pregnant woman or someone broke the fasting in Ramadan. Any time of the year you're going to make up for that day, you have to have the niyyah that you are making it for that day, right? You have to have the niyyah that this day is made. You cannot fast like a sunnah fasting and you say, you know what, let this count for Ramadan. You cannot do that. It has to be consciously counting in your head for the fard. You cannot do two niyyahs. But what if you did not intend to fast sunnah, tatawwa, voluntary fasting, Thursday or a Monday, you did not intend to fast. But then comes 10 a.m., 11 a.m., you did not drink any water, you did not eat any food. You say, you know what? I would rather continue this fasting. Can you do that? Yes. Can you do that? Can this count as a sunnah fasting? Yes. Tatawwa fasting? Absolutely. So on a Monday or a Thursday or something like that, by Zuhr time you did not eat or drink anything, said, I'd rather, might as well finish it fasting. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to do that actually. He woke up in the morning and he said, is there any food? No. Is there any food? No. He said, Allahumma inni sa'im. Okay, I'm fasting now. Because there was no food. It's all right, it counts. But in Ramadan you cannot do that. So Ramadan you have to have the intention either once in the beginning or every night. Now if you are making up for a fard fasting, then you cannot do it like that either. You cannot wake up in a day and say, wow, until Asr I did not eat anything. I'm going to fast, I'm going to finish until Maghrib for that day in Ramadan. No, it's not going to work. Okay? So you have to, for fard fasting, your niyyah has to be from night, not during the day. Yes? Ahsan. See, what if you do not know how many days? There are three segments of this. One, you know the minimum. One, you know the maximum. And one in the middle, like you're not sure. But there is a number. There has to be a number in your head. I know I fasted few days, but I know they are not less than 3 and they are not more than 7. So what are you going to do now? 7. All right? I am confused. They are between 3 and 9. Is 9. Okay? So you have to go like that, يعني. So always take the one which is safer. Very good. Do you have to make the fasting for all these years before? There are two opinions. One, no, you don't have to make all of that. You don't have to make all of that. And you repent to Allah. It's like salah, yani. Repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you don't and start from the beginning. Or you fast every Monday and Thursday, until you feel that you're done. Yani if you say 5 years, 5 years times 30, that's 150 days. If 10 years, right? If it is 10 years, that's 300 days, right? 300 days. You have 50 weeks, let's say 50 weeks during the year, not 54, but 50 weeks, lunar calendar, yani. Let's say 50 weeks. That means if you fast 2 days every week, that's 100 days. 100 days. So it would take you 3 years to finish for 10 years. And that's my opinion. I mean, that's the opinion I'm leaning towards. If you really sincerely repenting to Allah, it will give you a taste of making up and feeling safe. So you should do that. But it's not counting as a sunnah fasting, it's counting as a qada fasting. It's fard. So you have to do niyyah every night and all of that. And you don't break the fasting during the day and all these kind of things, right? So I hope, inshallah, that this is a rahmah for those who did not fast. But you try to assume the highest. يعني to be in the safe side for fasting. طيب, we talked about Ramadan when you're traveling. We talked about these things. We talked about older people and people who have medicine. So anybody who takes medication or sick because temporary reasons, they break the fasting and then they make it up after Ramadan. All right? Those who are terminally ill or they're very old age or pregnant or breastfeeding and they cannot fast, and they cannot make up later, then they should give fidya. Taban, there is difference about the pregnant and breastfeeding woman because this is a temporary thing. So she should make up those days later. Some of the scholars said she does both, fidya and the making up. So fidya for now, and then when she is able to make up, she should make up even after 10 years or 20 years. If a woman pregnant, breastfeeding, that's 3 years. Then she got pregnant and breastfeeding, that's 6 years. She's pregnant, so she did 5, 6 kids like that. That means she has like all these years, right? So they said give fidya. And that is a very common scenario, by the way. Don't, yani, you know, like my mother is seven children, all behind each other, yani. Between each one of us is like 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. Yani, staying all these years without fasting Ramadan. Then, you know, if she's able to fast, she should fast. But there is another opinion said, no fidya, qada only, even after years. And the one opinion says she does both. Fidya now, qada if she can, right? And I'm with that as well. It's a little bit hard, but with that as well. Qada when you can. And you can fast 1, 2 days a week, 3 days a month, until you are over with all these days. طيب. What about a sister who wants to take medication to delay her period so she can fast all Ramadan? Jaiz? Yes, it's allowed, permitted, but it is better to be natural, to live yourself natural, because this is the way that Allah intended for you. So you make up later and Allah reward you fully, no problem. But if you want to do it, that's fine. For Umrah, for Hajj, for Ramadan, that's okay, and you do not have to make up for those days or anything like that, because you're fasting. There is no bleeding. Right? طيب. If a person is terminally sick, terminally ill, and they wanted to feed, do they wait until Ramadan finish and then they feed, or they feed during the Ramadan, or they feed day by day, or they can feed in advance? Who can tell me? Huh? every day, day by day. صحيح. So that's one option, that you break the fast today, feed the person before Maghrib time, day by day. Or you can give a head, because terminal sick, يعني he knows that terminal sick, before Ramadan, you can give for the whole Ramadan, before Ramadan even start. Right? Whether people are going to eat it in Ramadan or not, is not your business. يعني. Feeding is for the days you broke the fasting. When they're going to eat it, this is their business. Like if you give somebody the lentil, the rice, the everything, and then they have it on their cabinet or their pantry or and they eat from it on the Eid, you delivered it, they eat it whenever they want. Is that clear? Inshallah? طيب. Also, it is important to know that eating and drinking will violate the day, the fasting day, if it's intentional. If it is what? Intentional. A person eating intentionally, but a person eating forgetfully, and then they remember and they stop, خلاص. يعني now, in Ramadan, I found this here, and I'm teaching after Zuhr or Asr, and I started drinking, and somebody said, Sheikh, Ramadan, astaghfirullah. I don't have to make up for this fasting or anything like that. Or you said, Sheikh, as Ramadan, and saying, Alhamdulillah. No, now I have to make up for that day. I cannot finish the drinking. Right? You have to stop at once as much as you can. فهمتوني يا اخوان؟ So الأكل والشرب عمدا. الأكل والشرب إيه؟ عمدا, intentionally, is what violates the fasting. نعم. Doesn't matter. أيوة. What? This is a good question. What time you completely cut off? All right. Technically speaking, now there is technically and practically. خلي بالك, huh? Technically speaking, Allah, that is when you start. That when the muazzin say, يعني the alif of Allah. You know, alif of Allahu Akbar in the azan. That is when you stop. Alif. Aywa. Now that is practically speaking. So I told you, technically speaking, you eat and drink until the muazzin start what? Adhan. So is it Allahu Akbar, or until Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, or until he finish adhan, or until حضرتك finish your food? That is the question, صح? لا, it's not until you finish your food. It is once the adhan comes. Now there is a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, if the cup, he said qadah, not food. If the cup is on the hand of one of you, and the adhan is made, finish what you're doing. Like, take the sip or two which is left. Even the adhan is going. But it is not like you are drinking hot drink. It's going to take half hour and you finish. La. You stop at once. Stop at once. You can swallow what is in your mouth, but don't take another one. La. You don't take another one. Once the adhan comes, that's why we say practically stop 5-10 minutes before the adhan. So find what is the fajr time, but that's not a must. I'm not saying that technical. I'm saying practical is better for you. So you can do the miswak, you can clean your mouth, you can do the wudu, you get ready, you are comfortable. But it is not haram and halal stuff, right? Haram and halal is azan. Yani with the time of azan, sharp time of azan. If it is 5:08 a.m. azan time, so 5:08. Once the 2 zeros come, that's when you stop. حتى لو ما سمعت الأذان يعني, even if you don't. When 5:08, it comes 5:07, 58, 59, 00, 5:08, that's it. We'll stop. If it is in your mouth, swallow it, no problem. If it is in your hand, put it back. خلاص. All right? So that is the way. But we say it is safer to do few minutes what? Before 5:08. So 5:05, 5:06, stop, go rinse your mouth, brush your teeth, right? So be like that. Inshallah Rabbil Alameen.
I want to go back to that fidya for a moment.
Faddal.
There are organizations
Mm-hmm.
who take money and they give the poor people in their country, which is minimal. It's like $50, feed a family of 5 for the entire month.
Yeah.
Is that count? Because in our country,
لا
$50 is nothing.
لا, it counts on your income, not on their expense. Meaning, how much it will take you to feed someone according to your income in the United States. $10, then $10 per day, even if they feed 100 people over there. You do not go by there because now everybody wants to feed over there, not over here. Right? Everybody wants to take the easy route. Is that clear now? So I know $50 will feed a family but will feed only 5 people for 5 days over here. No, over here.
That's right.
Over here, 1 meal per person per day, that's $10 to $15. Let's say $10. I asked my children, what would be like a box dinner that have some rice, some vegetable, and like shawarma or like something. They said $10, $12. Maybe you can have, $12. So with the drink, let's say $15. So $15, that is what you need to give for every day you have a fidya. Now those $15 are given to one person in America, or they are given to 15 people over there. It doesn't matter now, because $1 can feed lots of people in Egypt, for example. $1 can feed a person, 1 meal or 2 meals or whatever it is. So you are not going to do that. You are not going to give $15 for 15 days. No, $15 times 15 over here, and I didn't send the money over there. It doesn't matter how many people it's going to feed. I hope this is it's very important, because you give zakah according to where you give sadaqah according to where you are. You do the aqiqah according to where you are. That's how it counts. Otherwise, people wanted to subcontract where the cheap is.
So example to my country in Yemen, the $1 around 500. I don't have to count that.
Dollar here, and then send it, and they can do whatever they do over there. نعم صحيح. You count according to here. طبعا, of course, because the person over there gives zakah according to their income over there, and you are making 10, 15 times more than him. How come you give the same? So you have to, look, the maslaha, listen to this carefully. The benefit for the zakah and the sadaqah and the fidya is for the receiver, not the sender. The receiver. لازم مصلحة عنده. What's his best interest, not your best interest. You see? So everybody looking for their best interest. So like someone come and say, Sheikh, this guy owes me $1,000 and he did not give me for the past 5 years. Can I calculate them from zakah? I said, no. No, you cannot cut them from the zakah. This is after the fact. You want to go around it, You don't want to pay zakah. Can the tax I make, can this be considered my zakah? No, you give me the government. You are not giving someone else. Yes, you can deduct it from the zakah. You can say, this money I pay to the tax is like a debt on you. You can deduct it. You don't calculate it in the zakatable money. That's fine. But you cannot say, Uncle Sam took the tax, then I'm not going to pay zakah this year. No. It doesn't work like that. All right? It's maslaha of the receiver. الزكاة لإغناء الفقير ليس للتوفير للغني. It is not to save for the rich. It is to give more for the poor. That is the idea of zakah. Of zakah, to make the poor person not poor. That's why I tell many people, whenever you're giving zakah, you can actually choose one person only to give all your zakah for the year. But everybody wants to stretch zakah all over. They're thinking that this way they get more reward. That's what the people think. Like, okay, I have $1,000 of zakah. They give $10 to 100 people. That's not better than giving the $1,000 to someone that who will start a small business or something that they will not receive zakah next year. That is more rewarded. الزكاة لإغناء الفقير, to make him non-dependent. But it is not to give him a little bit so he can ask for more. So that is the fiqh of zakah. Fiqh of zakah. طيب. Eating and drinking intentionally, breaking the fast. Smoking, breaking the fast. Inhaler does not break the fast. The inhaler for asthma does not break the fast. But smoking does break the fast. Eating and drinking breaks the fast. Anything which is not food, if it went through your mouth and you inhaled it, it breaks the fast. It is debatable about the vitamin or the shots that it is giving you strength or anything like that. Now, if it is a food replacement, I think they sometimes they take in the stomach, like some food things, that will be breaking the fast. Actually, that person is so sick that he needs to break the fast anyways, right? But let's say that he wanted to continue fasting or she wants to continue fasting, and then some nutritious food came through injection or somehow through their body, it breaks the fast, right?
How about these
Diabetic, the insulin? No, it does not break the fast. Insulin does not break the fast. The inhaler does not break the fast. Also, intercourse between husband and wife breaks the fasting. Of course, break the fasting if it is full, yani intercourse. That is it is kafara, and the kafara for that is fasting 2 months. For that time, that encounter, 2 months, 60 days, متتابعين. يعني you have to fast 60 days. If they break the fast on the 59th, they're going to repeat. هذه كفارة شديدة يعني. Yes. لا عندي سؤال هو لا. Same thing. It breaks the fast. Any smoking of any substance, that will break the fast. Yeah. نعم. لا تفضل. Just talking? Working with the women? What type of working? Are you touching and all that? No, it does not break the fast. This does not break the fast. No. We are talking about the intercourse between husband and wife. No, it does not break the fasting. No. Hugs don't break the fasting. But don't hug. I'm not, so when I said hugs don't break the fasting, okay, let's go hug. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, if it is done, is sinful, but it does not break your fasting. I hope you understand, because sometimes people like catch something and they like, oh, Sheikh said you go hug, and everybody. It's an innocent hug. La. No hugs. All right? Al-hijama. Hijama, two opinions, but the strong one is that if you do hijama is cupping, and it is bleeding you, that breaks the fasting according to some opinion, but it is debatable, yani, the issue. But it's advisable not to do hijama in Ramadan because it's going to weaken you. It's going to weaken your body. You might fall. You might pass out and things like that. طيب. If the woman gets her period or she delivers the baby during the day of Ramadan, that day is broken. That day has to be made up. We advise the sisters that don't eat or drink for the rest of the day out of respect. But you can. Like the sister, her period came 1 hour before Maghrib. That day doesn't count, unfortunately. Right? That day doesn't count, unfortunately. That is this is the ruling in this regard. And the day that you finish your period during the day of Ramadan, you start praying and everything and continue the fasting of that day, but still you have to make up that day as well. Right? So whether you started or you finish the period during the day, that day has to be what? Made up after Ramadan. When do you make it up? Anytime before the next Ramadan. What if a person did not make up the days for the past Ramadan until the next Ramadan comes? Now they make fidya also, in addition. So in addition to making up the fasting, they make fidya for the sin. This is a sin, that you let another Ramadan come without expiating for the previous Ramadan. So those are the things that what about using the miswak in Ramadan? That's all right, using the miswak. Somebody said, can I use toothpaste? It's an issue. Why is it an issue? Because toothpaste has a taste. And even if it doesn't have a taste, you may actually swallow the substance. The swak doesn't have a substance. It may have a taste, but there is no substance. There is nothing that you swallow. So if parts of the miswak comes to you and you could take them out or they came against your will, no problem. But if somebody chewing the miswak and eat it, that's khalas, they break the fast. So make sure if you're using the toothbrush, use a clean toothbrush, new toothbrush that you did not put any toothpaste on it. I do that in Ramadan sometimes. Maybe it's a good practice. Yeah. You pick a new toothbrush. This is Ramadan toothbrush. If you don't have a miswak, yeah. But you do not put any toothpaste on it at any time. That is what you're going to use during the day, just to brush your teeth if it is easier than the miswak for you. Some people, their gums are weak. They need soft toothbrush. The miswak sometimes is harsh, right? So they wanted the soft one. So you can have one new, get it out of the packet, don't put any toothpaste on it, and that's the one you're going to use during the day, no problem. If somebody, the Fajr Adhan came while they are in a state of janaba, they have intercourse or they woke up after a wet dream or something like that, and the Fajr came before they take the ghusl, their siyam is sahih, and they need to take the ghusl. And if someone needed to do ghusl before Fajr, but they didn't do until the Fajr Adhan came, you say to them, oh, you are najis, you are this, no, it's okay, relax. They take the shower and they go pray Fajr, no problem, but they don't eat and drink. Okay, but their fasting is sahih. طيب, what about the endoscopy? Like somebody will do endoscopy or colonoscopy. Colonoscopy, no problem. And endoscopy also no problem. Even though it goes into because this is not food or food-like substance. It is some medical device to see and then it is taken out. It does not stay inside your stomach. If it is something that went to your stomach and stays there, that is what breaks the fasting. But this one goes down, right? Correct? And then they pull it out again. So, la tuftir yani. Huh?
Put the paste on your lips and the throat so that it smoothly go down.
Well, now, if they put that thing itself doesn't, but if they put any substance, then it does. If it does, if it goes into the jawf.
Normally they...
Yeah, if it goes, then if there is any substance that goes inside, then yes. That's a very good point, by the way. What about using creams, even though the skin absorbs them, it does not break the fast? What about enema? It's called enema. Enema means, anything that goes through your the bottom, and it goes through, does not break the fast. What about, what they call it, the suppository? Suppository also does not break the fasting, whether it is for women or for men, and it's either or. What about backbiting? Sorry? What is about the backbiting? It does not break the fasting, but it takes away from the reward of the fasting. You may lose the whole reward of the day, but you count as you fasted. So you checked the square of fasting. You don't have to make up. You are not sinful because you abandoned fasting, but you are sinful because you broke the spirituality of fasting. Is that? So if somebody said, man, your fasting is not good, so yalla, had the meal, bring the meal, because you just backbite someone, bring the barbecue, let's eat. No, you have to continue fasting, but you're not rewarded for that day, or more or less of it. Do you remind someone who's forgetful? Like you see somebody is eating in front of you and he's forgetful. Do you let them finish their meal, or you tell them, no, you remind them? You need to remind them. لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, when he forgot in his prayer, he told them, إذا نسيت فذكروني. Whenever I am forgetful, remind me. You are there to remind me. طيب, when if somebody died when they have fasting that they did not do, do their wali or their inheritors fast on their behalf? If that person is terminally ill, no, you don't have to. You just give the fidya. So if you did not give the fidya for the father or the mother or the relative or the son or whoever was sick, and you did not give the fidya and they died, you need to give the fidya for whatever, not for the rest of. If they died in the middle of Ramadan, you don't give the fidya for the rest of Ramadan. You give the fidya for the days that they were alive. You understand? Even the day that they died in, you give fidya for that day as well. So if they died on the 10th of Ramadan, you give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Is that clear? Yeah, so you give for fidya for those. But you do not give for 11, 12. Is that understood? So that one you give fidya, you do not make fasting on their behalf. You said, oh, they have fidya when they were alive, but now since they died, I will fast on their behalf to save the money. No. You're going to give the fidya on their behalf. Right. What if they were not terminally ill? They were sick and they died not because of the sickness. They died because their ajal came. But they did not die because of the flu or the cough or whatever. So now they were supposed to make what? They supposed to make up those days. Now they died. It's better to make on their behalf, right? But if they died because of that sickness, you don't have to make on their behalf, because it is done, they are done. Now what if a person, Allah healed them, or they're traveling and they broke the fasting and they finish, and they were able to make up, but they did not make up. 1 month, 2 months, did not make up, and they died. That is the one that you make on their behalf, fasting on their behalf. It's not enough to give the fidya. I'tikaf in Ramadan. I'tikaf in Ramadan. What is i'tikaf? Is to stay in the masjid of Allah in a retreat, seclusion, to worship Allah Azza wa Jal. So i'tikaf cannot be at home. I'tikaf has to be in the masjid. They differ. Masjid of 5 prayers or masjid that there is Jum'ah. Alhamdulillah, our Masjid Salam qualifies, right? Is i'tikaf for men only or men and women? Men and women. No restriction. As long as everyone doing their duties. Even if a man comes to do i'tikaf and their i'tikaf means they are abandoning their family, they are not safe, no. You stay with your family. Okay? A sister does not want to i'tikaf because she wants to run away from the house duties. I'tikaf? No, that's not good either. You cannot obey Allah by abandoning your duties. Is that clear? You cannot abandon your duties and say, I'm going to obey Allah, so I abandon my duties. That's not obeying Allah. You disobeyed Allah now, because Allah said, this is your duties, you have to do them, and I'm pleased with you when you fulfill your duties. Okay? You don't say, but I'm worshipping Allah. No. Okay? So this is not how it works. So i'tikaf is a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And it starts from the night of the 21st of Ramadan, and it finishes when the moon is sighted for Eid. So people can leave after Maghrib when the next day is Eid. Some say they leave after Fajr of the day of Eid. Some say they do not leave until the Musalla of Eid. They pray Eid and then they go home. All these opinions are there, right? But it is good and it is fine and acceptable to leave after Maghrib when Eid is the next day, so you can go to your family, spend the night with them, and prepare yourself and come in the morning fresh, again. That's very good. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. That's i'tikaf.
That be 1 or 2 days?
Very good question. The sunnah al-i'tikaf is to do from the 21st until the last end of Ramadan. That is the sunnah i'tikaf. Sunnah to i'tikafi Ramadan is the last 10. But is i'tikaf in itself a sunnah for X number of days? Yes. So there is a sunnah of doing i'tikaf regardless of the days, and there is sunnah of the i'tikaf in Ramadan. That's the fuller one. So you can do that. But since there are work and everything, and you can only make i'tikaf during the weekend, come in the weekend. You make i'tikaf only from Maghrib to Fajr, that's fine. From Isha to Fajr, that's okay. So that's why we tell people in Ramadan, make niyyah of i'tikaf whenever you enter the masjid. So as long as you are in the masjid, you are getting rewarded for i'tikaf. But you are not getting the full sunnah al-i'tikaf of Ramadan. Sunnah al-i'tikaf of Ramadan is to make i'tikaf in the masjid for all 10 days.
What are things that are prohibited in i'tikaf? While you are in i'tikaf?
In i'tikaf, you are not supposed to leave the masjid except for a necessity. You are not supposed to have intercourse with the wife. You cannot cut the i'tikaf for any reason except for certain reason. Even some said not even for janazah, not to follow janazah, not to. You stay in i'tikaf as long as you are You can talk to your wife, yeah, she can come bring you the food and everything, no issue. But those are the, basically, it's everything else is more of a preference, not to be busy with the affairs of the dunya. When we say now don't use the computer, don't use the internet, don't use all of that, but it's very hard to abandon, yani. So you do as much as you can, otherwise i'tikaf has no meaning. If i'tikaf is not like, it's like, you know, a vacation kind of thing, you know, it's not. I'tikaf means you pray more, you do dhikr more, alone. You do that more. So if people in i'tikaf in the masjid, and the only thing they do is come join the jama'ah, and either they're chatting or sleeping. Ibadah, what is that? Actually, home is better. You are comfortable better in your own mattress and have your own bathroom and everything. But that's not what i'tikaf is. That never was the intention of the i'tikaf. The intention of the i'tikaf is you seclude yourself from the world. So you can cry more, you recite Quran more, you do dhikr more, you stand more, longer ruku', longer sujood. Huh? يعني you wash yourself, literally speaking. يعني بعد ما الواحد يطلع من الاعتكاف he's like, you know, kind of, I'm a different person. I humbled myself, you know. I'm eating less, I'm praying more, I'm pushing myself to the limit. Sleeping less, waking more, longer qiyam, longer ruku', longer sujood. It's like that. And في مرة I said I'm going to make اعتكاف for all 10 days and I will see how did Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم do it. والله يا أخوان, we are very far. إحنا تعبانين قوي. We're very far. You know, the first night of اعتكاف I said, tonight I'm going to read Baqarah and Al-Imran Nisa in one rak'ah. Like the Prophet did, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I'm sharing with you for educational purpose, right? So I said, I'm going to do it. So that day, I slept good after Zuhr, يعني مجهز حالي يعني. We eat little bit بعد المغرب وكذا. Then I went to do the اعتكاف. Well, subhanallah, that masjid, it's here in Houston. There was a secluded masjid and there was only 4 or 5 brothers for i'tikaf. يعني no issue. And we agreed ما فيش talking. We are not going to chit chat with each other. Once you enter your i'tikaf curtain, forget the world. We all agreed. So I waited, everybody's asleep. I stood up, recited Surah Al-Baqarah. Ya salam. I finished the first juz and my feet started numbing. Right? I started doing like this with my feet. Like this. Wallahi akhwan. On the second juz, I felt like I'm standing on fire. أنا عايز I jump with both feet. And I couldn't. I could not finish the surah. I had to go for ruku'. And then I read the hadith. فكان ركوعه نحوا من قيامه صلى الله عليه وسلم. He was going to make ruku' closer to his standing. I said, Ya Rabbi, I stood for 45 minutes. I'm going to make ruku' for half hour. I could not do it. 3-4 minutes, خلاص. Your back is like going to break. Yani. Literally 3-4 minutes and that's it. That's it. You feel like, you know, my back is going to crack or something like that. Even it's hard to go up. And then you go for sujood, your head is like, you know, like about to explode. And I said, La ilaha illallah, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. That needs training, man. It does. It does not come just like that. I realized, you know, that you do not do like that. If you want, you start. From young age, you start. That's why I say to increase 3 seconds, 5 seconds in your ruku'. 1 minute, you know, like that. And then it's like in exercising until you reach to these levels. But those levels are something else. Wallahi, something else. I stayed like 2-3 days. انت عارف واحد مستحقر نفسه يعني you feel very humiliated. Who am I to think I'm somebody? Who am I? I could not even finish a rak'ah like the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like the Sahaba of Rasulullah. I could finish 1 rak'ah in my life. That was my dream. I wanted to do it 1 time. يعني 1 time I want to read those 3 surahs like the Prophet did. I feel like I'm achieved. And I wanted not to talk about it. I said, this will be my secret with Allah Azza wa Jalla. I'm not going to talk to anybody about it. But I failed. That's why I'm telling you. It is tough. And until now, I couldn't do it. I want to read Surah Al-A'raf one time in one rak'ah في صلاة المغرب. يا شيخ فاروقي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم read سورة الأعراف في صلاة المغرب. سورة الأعراف is one of the longest surahs. Huh? It will take about an hour to finish. 1 hour literally يعني. Between 2 rak'ahs, that is 30 minutes, 30 minutes. A third rak'ah, no problem. 5 minutes is okay. But you can imagine that we read Salat al-Maghrib until Isha. يعني today instead of the lecture, you are standing in Salat al-Maghrib until now. النبي فعلها مرة في حياته. I really want to practice that sunnah one time in Jama'ah. But فين الجماعة? Who is that Jama'ah gonna help me? Allahu A'lam. That's why I'm thinking that we go to a remote musalla somewhere and practice it. You are with me in this, inshallah? Whoever with me, we sign our name and we do it once, once. And we announce, because you know they did that in Egypt and Saudi Arabia, they make announcement for like 3 months before. So everybody knows that that night in Maghrib, you want to be in Maghrib to Isha. So anybody does not want a shorter Maghrib, go to other musalla. ها؟ لا مش في رمضان. لا غير رمضان. في صلاة المغرب. غير رمضان. لا في غير رمضان. أحسنت. I'm gonna eat. And في رمضان, by the way, you eat the dates and people normally eat after Isha. Dates only. For the past 10 years, that's what I do. I eat dates and milk, and maybe a cup of tea or coffee. فقط. Until the witr finish of Isha. Until that finish, then I go home, I will eat some light meal. Then في السحور is my good meal. My good meal في السحور. That's it. فالحمدلله رب العالمين, health-wise is amazing. Activity, amazing. You find me in Salat al-Maghrib running in the masjid here, before Maghrib. And everybody is like, they are tired all day long, right? And I'm jumping and going from the door and here and there and like that. Subhanallah, because my suhoor was good, right? And I advise all of you, this is my simple advice. I do not know the scientific thing behind it, but from Maghrib to suhoor, lots of water, watermelon, cucumber, yogurt, and avocado. 5, huh? I do these 5, they are initial every single day for me. Maya, water, بطيخ, تربوز, ها؟ يعني watermelon, اللي هو الأحمر من الداخل ده, not any other, the red one. Water and watermelon. لا ما فيش. And the khiyar, the cucumber, and yogurt, and avocado. The avocado, the plant, avocado. You can do it with olive oil, you can do it whatever you like. But avocado is always there. يا إما in the iftar, in the dinner, يا إما in the suhoor. Cucumber dinner or suhoor. You have to have 5 things, those 5 things. Anything else is extra. Anything is extra. Sometimes I eat meat once a week only. Huh? لا ولا فهمت ولا ممت ولا حاجة خالص. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to fast the month of Ramadan, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the best in the month of Ramadan. My last advice. It is very easy to know the things that breaks the fasting. 1, 2, 3. Don't eat or drink intentionally. Don't have this intercourse. Don't do this, don't do that. That's easy. But it is very, very hard to have a spiritual fasting. صوم روحاني هذا أصعب شيء. صيام physical and in behavior and spiritual. In the behavior inside your house. Some people, when they are fasting, they are short-tempered. محدش يكلمني عشان أنا صايم. بقول لكم nobody talk to me because I'm fasting. Okay? Huh? That is not fasting. But that's not a good fasting. Fasting should be the other way around. You have more karam, more generosity, more hilm, more sabr, more ease, more smile, more patience. For Ramadan, and the fasting with everyone. But you start with your family. Then sometimes you do everyone except your family. Why? You tell me. Look, people are good with everybody. MashaAllah, the smile is from this cheek to this cheek. Once they get home, don't talk to me. I'm fasting. Go prepare the food, yalla. لا يا أخي, be nice. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم was the easiest in his house. When we enter his house, he brings happiness with him, صلى الله عليه وسلم. People should wait for you in the house, your spouse and your children waiting for you to come. You know, little children, when you enter, Baba, Baba, like that, they run to you. Your wife should do the same. You know, that's how it is. If they are coming like that, it means they can't wait to meet you. Spiritual fasting is صيام القلب عن الشهوات وعن الشبهات, عن الحسد, حقد, grudge, jealousy, bad intention, showing off. Fast from those things. That is the spiritual fasting we're talking about. Fasting in the behavior. Be nice to people. Don't insult somebody. Don't look down upon somebody. Don't, you know, this kind of looks. They look down upon someone like, you give them gestures. Don't do that in the behavior. In your kalam, fasting from anything that displeases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Eye, you fast from looking at something haram. Ear, it's fasting from hearing anything haram. The tongue, fasting from anything haram. That is the physical fasting. Physical fasting, heart fasting, spiritual fasting, and behavioral fasting. May Allah enable us to have all those, inshallah. Sallallahu sallam wa barak ala Sayyidina Muhammad walhamdulillah rabbil alamin. بعد صلاة العشاء, if you have any more questions, please ask. Yes.
On the question of niyyah, you said there were two answers for it, whether we're going to make it one niyyah for the whole month or one
Niyyah for every night.
mention one niyyah, but then we start talking, we did not mention the second.
Yes, second opinion is like every night you have to make the niyyah for fasting the following day before Fajr time comes. كل يوم, كل ليلة, you have until the Fajr. طبعا if you wake up for suhoor, that's a niyyah خلاص. يعني you are waking for suhoor because you are going to eat, because you are fasting. That's a niyyah. Niyyah, you don't have to say نويت صيام كذا. That's not the niyyah يعني. Some people, they insist on saying it. That's not what I'm talking about. Talking about is consciously knowing that tomorrow is a day of fasting. It's very hard to abandon that. يعني. Beginning of Ramadan once is enough also, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. If you have any question, I am here after Isha, inshallah. I'm going to stand after Isha and announce that if anybody have question regarding Ramadan, please ask. Adhan, inshallah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن